And we're back.
What I got it playing there. Okay, now I can hear. What's up, and welcome to the Boys of Fall. Started a little rough. I think I did that same thing last time too. We are back with week 5. Week 5. We had week 4. I'll show you guys that in a second. Good to see Ty back. I was riding solo last week, and then we had D-Rock, the week before. But quickly here, if you're watching on YouTube, if you're watching on Twitter, like the video, share the video. If you're watching on Twitter, retweet this the broadcast for us. Help us grow. Help get some some extra eyes on here. Anybody that does comment, you have any questions, we can go and answer those as well. We went through and hit up a lot of live questions last time, so we'll get into it. But Ty, it's been a couple weeks since I've seen you. How are things? How you feeling college football wise? The way things been going?
I mean, I feel good. Week 2 was bad, so I went into hiding for 2 weeks. Week 3 that was. Yeah, I went into hiding. Didn't want to return. No, I'm just kidding. It was tough, but last week, 12.7 units on Saturday alone with straight bets. I feel really good. I feel like I'm seeing the board pretty clean right now, and we're getting a good idea. Just so I just want to also give this show a little bit of a precursor. So Jordan has a little bit of a built-in excuse if he's currently under the influence. He had hip surgery. So sometimes, he might not think right, or, just let's give him a little bit of time, and he'll be back to normal in no time. I think you said you were an Eagles fan earlier. You were interested in maybe coming over to be an Eagles fan.
I forgot I had that dot on I keep seeing it on accident. It's supposed to be for nausea, and that certainly did not help with anesthesia. I vomited everywhere. Wow. Anyway, I was hoping to have some crazy, after surgery plays go on, and I lost a stupid play in the NFL. But we're here with college football, where the Discord here, trophies. So we're looking at this trophies logo right there. In the description, I have the link for the 2 week and the month. Combined, the college football team put up 28 units between Ty. Ty led the way. Myself, I had almost 8. Chief had 4. I think Jay Bookie had 3 or something like that. So we had a very, very good weekend. I capped off with my 11 leg, 20 plus 2,700, all day stepped up parlay or whatever. Obviously, that's not always going to happen, but I think we have some pretty good reads. I'm going to pull up this recap here for you guys, and we will just jump on into it. So last week it was just me last week. You can see I got 4 check marks, 3 reds there. We got IU minus 28.5 right. The TCU SMU went over very easily. Tennessee covered that minus 6.5. I mean, effortlessly, man. I think Tennessee's got to be the real deal after that, or Oklahoma's just really bad. I wasn't expecting to see Arnold get benched. Boy, was that a rough game. That was a rough game there. Fresno team total. Fresno, flew over that there too. And K-State, I talked about it last week. I was on K-State when they went against Tulane. They barely won, faded them, and then they killed Arizona. And then I backed them again, and they just looked horrendous, So anyway, we go 4-3 on the last Friday night show into the in week 4. So certainly not bad. Certainly to sweep the board, But go ahead.
The one thing I want the audience to remember is that this week we're bringing back the dogs. The dogs are barking. We're bringing them back. It's my favorite part of the whole show, and the dogs are barking. I mean, I might parlay all the ones that I have. It's the only way I think I can do it. I'm parlaying. The dogs are barking. It's a dog bark weekend.
Right. All right. So yeah, there's some pretty good line.
All right, Jort's gone. So I'll just continue to do this. But the dogs are going to be barking this weekend. We can start off. I already know my first. Okay, he's back. All right, but we can start off. I can't even hear you. Your mic's out. So we have the first play that I'm going to be going with is okay. Now you're back.
Yeah,
Western Kentucky versus Boston College. I wanted the over originally. Then it came out that Boston College's QB is out. But what did I have as the dog? What did I have as a dog? I said Western Kentucky money line, right? So instead, we're going to switch this up. I still kind of like the over. I don't know how Boston College is going to look without Castellanos. Not sure. But I really do like this Western Kentucky team. Veltkamp has got him playing good at quarterback. I think that this is an outright winner, but we're going to take them at plus 7.5. They will be my dogs barking. Potential over as well, but the Castellanos thing changes things. I haven't seen where that line is moved to as far as the total, if it has moved at all, but I know it was at like 13.5. Now it's at 7.5. But if you're going to give me a touchdown with a backup quarterback, I'm going Hilltoppers all day. All right. Can't pass up with that mascot either.
Yeah. It's at 49.5. I don't think it moved.
It didn't move at all. So I still kind of like the over. Makes me a little nervous because I don't know what they have at. I don't really know what their backup looks like. But we'll take Western Kentucky plus 7.5. And you know what we're doing? Sprinkling that money line. Yeah, dogs are barking.
Sure. And that backup did play. He must have come in. Castellanos must have got hurt. He threw like 3 passes. This will be his first ever start. I think he's a true freshman, if not like a redshirt guy. But I mean, he's not one that he hasn't seen a lot of action.
Okay. Yeah, unfortunately, I did not watch Boston College last week, even though it was the red bandana game, which is always special. But yeah, we're going with Western Kentucky plus 7.5 and the over. If you want to take the over, but the play is Western Kentucky plus 7.5.
The plus 7.5 over a touchdown. I think that's gonna be really smooth.
Yeah.
And it's so hard with luckily they actually announced that early. You know, with college football, like they don't technically have to. So like you kind of come down to some bets and you're just like, well, where's this guy at kind of thing, you know? So that's certainly the downside to playing some some player props and everything like that, you know, too, if you have that in your state. But I am going to go ahead and start with mine. So I'm telling you guys, I use a wagon. I use a wagon at this point. Like I don't see a spot where I'm not going to want to bet on IU. We can get IU under a touchdown against Maryland. IU is at home. They've scored at least 30 points in every game so far, and they have yet to give up more than 14 points in a game. They're averaging 7.8 yards per play on offense, and they're giving up 3.7 yards per play on defense. So obviously, you know, offense is continuing to do good. Defense continuing to hold it down too. I don't think Maryland's going to have enough defense to slow down this IU team, who's just honestly just in kill mode. I mean, like they look like a team that can score on every drive. And they're getting it done. I mean, Curtis Rourke's looking fantastic. Dude's running. They got he says he got the same hoodie. He's running the ball. They're running the ball good, throwing good. Rourke's looking fantastic. Love to see, a new energized, Curtis Rourke there at IU. I mean, they're at home in Bloomington. I don't know what the weather's going to look like. And that's a big kind of thing that we, even just to talk about the top of the hour here is to make sure you're paying attention to what's going on with the hurricane and everything. I'm not really like big on those storms or whatever, but it looked like it was kind of in Tennessee right now. And then, the Appalachian State game was canceled against whoever they were playing. They said it's not going to be made up, which seems kind of crazy. But, we have that game going right now in Miami, perfectly fine weather, so a lot of these Florida games, maybe still have some little sprinkling and stuff, maybe have some of that wind still, but where this is moving northward. So we're hitting, the Carolinas, the Tennessees, and maybe even making its way up into Indiana where, Bloomington is in Southern Indiana. So we could see the potential for some weirdness, but it is just a 6-point spread. So it's not like they got to cover 28.5 like they did easily last week. So I like them a lot. IU minus 6.5 for my first play back in the Crimson and Red. Ty, number 2.
Yeah, of course you're not concerned about hurricanes. You're a Midwestern guy. You don't even know what bad weather probably is.
Tornadoes.
You're not in Tornado Alley. Come on, are you?
No.
Okay, yeah. If it rains, it's like, oh, well, that's the worst bad. Or snow. You guys get
grass.
Snow. All right. So we're gonna move on to my academy team. As a Marine, my team. You have to choose a team is Navy. Okay. And Navy is an absolute wagon right now, and they are circling. Okay. Navy's got a kid named Blake Horvath. All right. Now, let me tell you what he did last week. He went 9 for 12. All right. 192 yards, 2 touchdowns. He also rushed for 12 times for 211 yards. This kid is the Travis Hunter of academy football. Okay.
Sure.
If Travis Hunter went to Army, Navy, Air Force, this would be him. Play Corvath. Okay. Yeah. Zach, you want to know any player props tomorrow? I don't have him in my state, but you take Blake Horvath to do whatever he wants to do. Take the over. All right. They are going to run all over UAB. All right. Give me Navy minus 2.5. Alt line. We're going to bring it down. I think they blow them out by double digits, in my opinion. Okay. It's difficult to defend a triple option team. We saw that last night, right? With Army versus Temple. If you don't have a lot of time to deal with this team, they're going to beat on you. Navy right now, Navy is averaging 47.7 points per game. This is a no-brainer for me. I feel like this line's a trap. It's so low.
Yeah.
Navy minus 2.5 alt.
That's the way I felt about the Army game yesterday, and Army took care of it. So since we're here, though, I mean, who's the better service academy, Navy or Army?
It's got to be
Navy
Navy
Army.
right now.
I love Army.
Navy can pass a little bit better than Army can.
He's got like 3 passing touchdowns, I think. Maybe 4
Yeah,
now.
but they've all been where they've ran 15 times, lulled you to sleep, then just throwing it over, right?
Yeah,
Army
like
is actually running.
Touchdown we just seen earlier. Yeah.
Like Navy's actually running some passing plays.
Yeah, I got you. Yeah, for sure.
So in my opinion, right now, I think it's Navy.
Right. Juan, speaking of that question there, future
I do.
for Heisman. I mean, Cam Ward is definitely at the top, and I think he's probably the lowest odds there.
He is. He's plus 350.
I think though that it would be worth possibly taking a shot on Milroe because
I'm on Travis. Go ahead.
Oh yeah. No, I mean Travis Hunter, sure, but if and we'll talk about this game down the road here, this Bama and Georgia game. But if Milroe goes in and beats, he's at home, but if he beats Bama, I think his stock rises a lot. So I think now's the time if you're liking Milroe out of Bama as a Heisman
if he
winner.
beats Georgia.
Yeah. Now would be the time to grab it because I think those odds tank if he walks away with a win against Georgia. So now would be the time to grab Milroe, buy low kind of thing, and then sell high, whatever. I guess whichever analogy you use there. But I think Milroe is sneaky, but Cam Ward is fantastic, and then Travis Hunter certainly makes sense.
Yeah. So we were on Travis Hunter when he was 35-1 in the Discord. Just because if you're going to give me a two-way player that plays offense and defense and is stout on both sides, how can you tell me that is not the best player in football? Now, the Heisman has moved to more of an MVP style race, right? Where it's the best quarterback or whatever, best offensive player. But if we're going on the best football player, how can it not be Travis Hunter? How can it not be? That's my opinion. I don't know what he's at now. We got it 35-1 in the Discord preseason. I think it's Travis Hunter. That's who I would go with. Now, he plays on a crap team, but
yeah,
is it my turn or your turn? Your turn.
I gave out IU. Did you go? Oh, it is my turn. I was gonna find you the Heisman thing here real quick while we're on it.
Yeah, somebody said he's 18.
He's not even on the first page.
Sneaky play.
Plus 1,600. Plus 1,600 right now.
Sneaky play.
Jackson Dart up there a second. So I was gonna say, so Zach, I think I'm really big on Jackson Dart tomorrow, but like I'm kind of afraid of the game because I feel like this 15.5 line is just uncharacteristically low going against Kentucky, but Kentucky did have that battle with Georgia. But okay, my next official play here is going to be speaking of hurricanes. All right. Speaking of hurricanes, it's 14-14. It's Georgia or Virginia Tech and Miami. I feel like that's kind of surprising. My second play is gonna be Louisville at Notre Dame under 46.5 points. We're supposed to have some of that hurricane aftermath. Like I said, I'm getting it right now. I'm about an hour and a half, 2 hours from the stadium there at Notre Dame. Maybe some rain, but they're saying, and it's with weather, it's all speculation. The only thing that really scares you generally is going to be the wind. You're not worried about the rain or anything like that. They're saying it's the potential of 20-mile-an-hour winds, there in South Bend, up to 39-mile-an-hour gusts, right? Neither team, Riley Leonard's not throwing the ball very well. Notre Dame doesn't really have a wide receiver crew. They haven't had a good wide receiver in quite a while. I think if it is that windy, it's going to force them to abandon the pass or not pass as much. They're going to run, and I think both teams have a pretty good run defense. I mean, Notre Dame's strength is certainly their defense. Notre Dame's defense is fantastic. Louisville's got a pretty good defense there too. I don't see either team scoring a whole lot of points, and the only way I see this going over is if we have one team just beat the holy hell out of somebody. Like if we get a Purdue game where they score 60 again or something like that, but. I think this is going to be one where the weather, we could wake up tomorrow and the weather's just terrible, and this could tank even more, but playing the weather, playing the really good, the good defense against each other. I like the under 46.5 at Notre Dame, and at home, they've been looking terrible, man. Like they lost to Northern Illinois. Who was against Miami, Ohio. I think they were at Notre. It took them almost a half just to get going there. They only had 3 points through the majority of the first half. So, I mean, they haven't really had it under Freeman, unfortunately. So,
all right. Well, now that we're done with those un-American plays, somebody's rooting for no points, which is completely unpatriotic and un-American. Let's go to the overs club only plays. All right. Let's go right to TCU versus Kansas. Kansas has looked terrible. Jaden Daniels has looked suspect at times. Okay. But both teams give up a lot of points. TCU offense has also scored 38.8 points per game right now, having a ton of yards through the air, like almost 370 yards per game. Kansas, I don't really know what to think of them, but their games are always high. It was 32-28 against West Virginia. I have to go with the over here. I think there's going to be a lot of points in this game. Okay, TCU versus Kansas, over 58.5. I think Jaden Daniels and the boys kind of figure it out. They look like they kind of figured it out in the second half of last week. It was 28-17 going into the fourth quarter. Their defense kind of gave it up, which, again, is great for our over. I don't really know. I don't have a lean as to who wins this game or how it'll end up, but I just have a strong feeling that this game is going to be going over. I think this game is going to be 30-something to 30-something into 60s. So give me TCU versus Kansas, Rock Chalk Jayhawk versus the Horned Frogs, a battle of two of the greatest. This game is going to be played in Kansas City Chiefs Stadium. Yeah, so Kansas is getting a remodel of their stadium. So they're going to Arrowhead. Right. They're going to Arrowhead. Points all over the place. Yeah. So we will see a lot of touchdowns, I believe. Josh Hoover looks good. Jaden Daniels, I hope he can figure out because, man, is he electric. But Devin Neal, the kid can run the ball. I'm going with the over here. So 28.3 points to 38.8. I love the over.
Yeah, I think I do too. When you sent that, I was like, man, I don't know how I missed it kind of thing. If Kansas would just figure it out, man, they can look so good. And then they had that rain delay last week, and that really messed them up. Ultimately, I think they lost that game.
Well, let's see. Yeah, they lost to West Virginia last week. Look, games need to stop being played in West Virginia, period. That's the second time that they've had a weather delay because of lightning. Like, let's stop playing football in that terrible state, and let's just move on. Let's just move on.
Chris, second play was Louisville and Notre Dame under 46.5, whatever the current 46.5 is the current line. Then one, I did not see they had that. Bama, well, everybody does. FanDuel's got one, DraftKings has one, added to Bet365. That's certainly the game of the night kind of thing is the Bama and Georgia, which I suppose leads me right into Bama and Georgia. So, third play for me then. Third play. I'm gonna go with Bama plus 1.5. Gonna go with the home dog. Honestly, I mean, it kind of goes back and forth. You guys, for those of you that are in the Discord, And have been around with me for a while. You know that I generally play like the safer route of things. So having that +1.5 is a nice cushion just in case, right? It's essentially you could take the money line and essentially be sitting at the same spot. That's certainly up to you. But they got the last second field goal when somebody missed a PAT, something like that, ends up being a 1-point game. I sure would love having that 1 point if it ends up going that way. But I mean, you got the home dog. Georgia banged up on defense. Georgia doesn't at all look like Georgia to me. Georgia's been really struggling. They've been winning games, but just like last week when I talked about, Tennessee, and I said, Tennessee's been winning games and they're winning games like effortlessly. They look great doing it. And we talked about Oklahoma, how they've been winning games, but they don't look good doing it. And I feel like Georgia does not look good winning games. They're not dominating games or anything like that. In a pick'em game, Bama at home, I think you just got to ride it. Not to mention that we may have some of this rain. We may have some of this wind that's going on there as well. I think if we have a windy, sluggish, gross, wet game, I think that highly favors Bama in this spot because they have that mobile quarterback. They've got a good complement of running backs. I think it's going to be a great game. And you can go either way. A lot of people are going to be saying Georgia. A lot of people are going to be saying Bama. This is certainly one of those Super Bowl-esque type games where it's like, it's just such good teams going back and forth here. But I think, the home dog at home is just where you got to go with it. And Ty, I think you agree.
I agree, 100%. 100% agree. Yeah. But let's move on to a team that I just can't seem to stay away from. I can't. It's like a moth to a light. I love betting Deion Sanders and the Colorado Buffaloes. I admit it. I know. I admit it. But there's just something like I just felt like last week I took them live money line in the Discord, and it came down to a Hail Mary, and I'm not lying. Like I don't know what it was. I just felt like they get put on primetime every week for no reason. It's just like this is gonna they will score. I don't know how. Wasn't expecting to come down to like a last second roll out to the left when he's a righty and just throw it in there. But it happened, and then they won outright. But I don't really care who wins this game. I don't know that UCF covers this spread. While I think they can, I feel like they could put a ton of points up on Colorado. We're going to play the game a little safer. We're going to go with overs club only play. We're going with the over, all right? The line is currently set at, I believe, 62.5. That is what, or maybe 63.5. Doesn't matter. I'm going with the over. The Buffs defense is bad. 62. The Buffs defense is bad. Bad enough that UCF should be able to do whatever they want at the bounce house. Right? It's going to be electric there. You're bringing Deion and the Colorado Buffaloes in the show. They're down to the national champions of college football, the UCF Knights. Give me the over. Give me the points. All right. I mean, they beat up on TCU last week pretty good. 35-34. But it was the yardage. That's what's impressive. They had some trip-ups towards the end zone, but it's the yardage that they are able to accumulate through the air and the ground. I don't see how Colorado steps up. Supposedly, the safety, Shiloh, is supposed to be back. Sanders. That's still up in the air, but I don't think he makes that big of a difference. Give me the over. Going with the over here.
Yeah.
UCF might drop 40.
Yeah. Dude, Colorado is just such a frustrating team. And you got to think, too, though, and it was probably because it was against Colorado State, but I don't know if you were watching that game, but, it was well put away. There's, 2 minutes, and they just kept throwing bombs to the end zone. And I needed that for one of my 11-leg stepped-up parlays. I had, Colorado with, plus 22, and they were losing by 21, and I was just like, I promise you, if they score a touchdown for no reason, I was going to lose my mind. But that's Deion, man. I think Deion is going to continue to take shots and continue to, put up points.
Especially against the rivalry, right?
Yeah, and they were talking shit and stuff, too. Yeah. But and I'm a big fan of UCF. I've been on UCF almost every week, in the form of a money line or something like that. And did you say you think Colorado could win, or you more so just off as too many points?
No, I don't think Colorado can win.
Okay.
At all.
Yeah.
No, not even. No. Do not see. That's the surgery talking. You try to get me slipped up there with the meds that you're on and stuff. I've never said that I think Colorado can win here.
That's right. You were on the over.
Yes.
For some reason, I thought you said you took the point.
No, I said I felt like UCF could blow them out.
I got you. Yeah, I think UCF.
Like this could be a bad game. But I don't know what to think about Colorado. All I know is that their defense is bad, and if Shedeur has time, he can throw the ball.
Yeah. Good game, special type game for those of you that have those available. I know it's certain states, have different restrictions and everything, but where you have a pass touchdown thrown in every quarter could be a pretty good one. You don't see Colorado running the ball very often. Those are usually like plus 400, plus 500 or something like that. Sometimes you even get a combo where you could have like KJ Jefferson and then, Sanders, with 500, 600 passing yards combined or something. One of my favorite plays is that quarter. I need to make a mental note to make sure I look for that tomorrow because I think that's going to be. I'm gonna actually try to find it. After
it is a fact. Colorado cannot run the ball. They cannot. Yeah. Like that is factual. So the only way that they are going to score is through the air.
They actually do. They have a KJ Jefferson, Shedeur Sanders to combine for 500 pass yards. It's minus 155 though. That's kind of gross. Both teams scoring every quarter is plus 500. They don't have that.
But I wouldn't. The only reason why I wouldn't take that is because I don't know that the Buffaloes can score in every quarter.
Yeah, and I would have preferred to have just a pass touchdown be scored in every quarter. Yeah, it doesn't matter who does it, but they don't have it up right now, at least.
Right.
Yeah, they don't have it up. Yeah. Zach, Virginia up 21-14. Did not quite see that coming, but Miami is going to keep. They'll keep scoring for sure. They'll be all right.
Let's hope so. He's looking a little rough right now. Rutgers touchdown now.
Get those.
Let's give it up for the oldest football program in the country.
I need Rutgers. Isaiah Horton to show up and get 25 yards. All right, fourth play, my turn. We're gonna go with a big spread. Ohio State minus 23.5 against Michigan State. Big Ten, obviously rivalry here. Michigan State, I think I think this handicap is as good as saying that I just don't think Michigan State's very good. They're just not very good. Ohio State they got some incredible talent. They're fast. They're pretty disciplined. They get the job done. Michigan State's starting quarterback was it Aiden Childs, I think, or something like that, however you pronounce his last name. He's got 4 touchdowns to 7 interceptions. And so he's thrown nearly double, the interceptions he has touchdowns. Obviously, it's just a terrible look as a quarterback. If he continues to turn over the ball against Ohio State, I mean, this game's going to get nasty. I already think it's going to be nasty. I fully expect this to be a blowout. Ohio State could easily be up, 24-0 at halftime, something like that. I don't know how many points Michigan State scores. Ohio State nearly covered that spread last week against Marshall, but Marshall managed to put up some points, early on there. Scored that first drive touchdown. Everyone's like, well, what's going on or whatever. Then Ohio State kind of figured it out and they got it going on some big plays. But I don't see MSU being able to hang with Ohio State's offense. They're not going to be able to go blow for blow. I also don't think that Michigan State's defense is going to really be able to stop Ohio State much at all. So we should see a butt whooping, so to speak, out of Ohio State there in the rivalry game, even there too. Rivalry enough. I mean, they're within the same, same conference or whatever. So Ohio State minus 23.5 is my fourth play. Before we get into our fifth, Ty's got one more. I have one more. We're sitting about 28 minutes. We don't want this show to be forever. We want you guys to be able to watch it live with us. We'll be able to watch it tomorrow morning when you're, getting ready to drop your plays. But the people that are live, you've had a couple of people in here. I can pull the comments up just like I can do Zach here. If you guys want to ask some questions now as we're giving our last plays, we can get into talking about those other games that you guys might have, some totals, team totals, anything like that. That way we're not we keep the show running here. If you guys had any questions or anything, so let's see, Ty, I think I was just talking. Okay, so yeah, you're up here last for your next one.
Yeah, so there's a few things that you and I have in common. One of them being, that we're fans of the Eagles and Penn State. The second one being that we both love UCF football. And being fans of UCF football, we love Dylan Gabriel. Right? You remember Dylan Gabriel playing there, leading those UCF Knights until he wet noodled his knee. That leg broke in half. The boy came back, okay? He's now at Oregon. Looked great at Oklahoma. Looked a little rough to begin over there in Oregon. But they play UCLA this week. UCLA is one of the worst teams in college football. They're averaging 15.3 points per game. And they can't run the ball. So what do? They pass a lot, but they're also bad at passing the ball. And Oregon is just really, really good. They're like top 25 in the country, top 10 against the top 10 offense. It's just, this is going to be a blowout. I think it might be 48-10. Minus 25.5. You're not giving me enough, not giving enough points here. This is a blowout. Oregon, quack, 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 quack. You know what? It's the Ducks. We're going Ducks minus 25.5. And let me give you guys just a little extra something right now on a little spread. This is not an official play. But let me give you something. I'm a big Penn State fan. Originally when I saw the line 17.5, no way they cover. Major reverse line movement. The public is heavily on in Illinois at plus 17.5. Watch. There's so much sharp money coming in on Penn State that the line's moving in the other direction. Penn State minus 17.5. Not that's strictly just based on following the money. Not a homer play at all, because I originally was Illinois, no brainer. That's it.
Right. Yeah, that's my first thought was certainly Illinois, because they haven't looked bad.
No,
sometimes
you really
don't know what Penn State shows up.
Right.
Sometimes Penn State looks fantastic and they're slinging the ball, and there's other times where it's they don't have an offense.
Right. Well, he's asked for whiteout energy. You're going prime time down at Happy Valley, where the boys will be dressed in all white. Come on now.
All right.
But go ahead and button us up here.
Yeah. Zach, Hoover over 301 seems high, but I was looking it up as Ty was talking there. He's over that in 3 of 4. He's thrown for nearly 400 yards in back-to-back games. And that's a game where Ty and myself both think there's going to be a lot of points. A back and forth affair kind of thing. So you certainly wouldn't want to be on that if they were 30-point favorites or something, because at some point they're going to stop running the ball. But if it's going to be a back and forth game, I think his pass rush probably could be a pretty good look. All right. Lastly, honestly, we talk about favorite teams to bet on. I just really feel like fading Florida State every single week. So I'm going to go with SMU minus 6.5. I was on Cal last week in that stepped up play. They were a plus. I'm trying to remember. I think they closed at plus 2, 2.5, 3, maybe something like that. I had given them 12.5, so I had plenty of safety. But I mean, Cal hung in that game. That was Cal's game to lose. Florida State was struggling to move the ball. DJU, man, what? I mean, I don't know. DJU's not good. The man's thrown under 200 yards in 3 of 4 games. DJU, I mean, I don't know how old he is, but dude's been around forever. And he's only throwing supposed to be a high caliber quarterback, not even breaking 200 yards in college football. I mean, every college football quarterback should be throwing for 200 yards. It's just the way it is, unless you're on a service academy or something like that. Or you're just terrible like DJU. SMU, man, I'm really big on them. I love to bet on SMU. SMU's been a great team to bet on in the last years. They started out looking not good, and then last week they played against TCU and they beat TCU, and they looked good. I was on the over. We talked about that over for the Iron Skillet game, and I was saying I hope SMU puts up some points here to push us over. And then you look, and SMU's up 21-0 in the first quarter and a half or something like that. Then TCU made it a game, but SMU's offense seemed to click. If we can get that electric SMU offense, I think they're going to destroy FSU tomorrow if SMU is clicking and And they moved away from this whole, we got two quarterbacks things. They put Preston Stone aside. It's Jennings for sure now, and you don't have to worry about the old got two quarterbacks, you don't have a quarterback kind of thing, So that's certainly helpful in that sense. But I think SMU is just gonna run away with it, and they get back to their normal form of who I love to bet on. So
every time 10. I watch FSU play, I hear like the carnival music, like dun 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 dun. It's just like DJ Hugo, like fumbling, like fumbling, like they're just dropping balls that hit them right in the hands. Right. Like I just can't, I can't help myself. I just laugh every single time I watch DJ play. It's always just like, hey, bro. I think the kids nowadays they have this like saying like, hey, bro, but just put the fries in the bag. I think that's probably what he should probably start working.
Yeah.
And then of course he did like the 7-Eleven commercial or whatever. It just like fits in perfectly.
Right.
But let's get to the slushy like get used to it, my guy. Let's get to my favorite part of the show is the dog days of Saturdays. Okay. The dogs are barking as always. This one's a little bit more difficult because there's some big dogs, which I don't like. And the dogs that are close, it's just like, are they even really dogs? But we're obviously going Western Kentucky money line. That's where we're going. All right. We're then also going to go Alabama money line. Okay. Then we're going to go BYU money line. They've looked fantastic. And for some reason, the books still don't give them any respect at all. Okay. And finally, this line makes no sense to me. It's Oklahoma money line. Backup quarterback in. They bench. What's his name? Daniel, right? Or Darnold. Arnold.
Yeah,
Oklahoma QB.
Both teams are going with a different quarterback this week.
Right. But Oklahoma's QB looked decent. He looked shifty. Looks like he can make some plays with his legs, and Tennessee's a nasty, nasty team on defense. Okay. Yeah, so for sure. Oklahoma money line. And I'm gonna sprinkle in one more. It's just cause Cincinnati money line. Cincinnati money line.
Too. Who's Cincinnati play?
Oh my God, I just had it up. Hold on, I have it up.
It's just not a team that I'm usually like. Oh, Texas Tech.
Yeah. 3.5 seems crazy to me because Texas Tech has looked absolutely phenomenal on offense. So plus 3.5, that seems like a shady line. Personally, I think Cincinnati can pull off the upset on the road. So we're going Alabama, Western Kentucky, who will be the biggest dog, BYU, Oklahoma, Cincinnati. I gave 5 dogs. 5.
There you go.
Dogs are barking.
That's the way it's been in the NFL. That's for dang sure.
Yeah. I mean, I just said to my buddy the other day, whoever you don't think has a shot to win it all, that's who you take to win. There doesn't need to be any data behind it. You just bet it blindly.
All right, the recap. I kind of threw it in the bottom. It doesn't probably look all that great. But on my side, I'll let Ty, then Ty can go through yours. Ty, I don't know if how well you can read that screen, or I can read it.
Yeah, I can read it.
I got it big on my other one. So for me, my 5 plays, we're going to go with IU minus 6.5, Louisville and Notre Dame under 46.5, Bama plus 1.5, Ohio State minus 23.5, and SMU minus 6.5. Ty, and I sprinkled, or I typed in your dogs there at the bottom. I didn't capitalize any words, though.
That's fine. So we're going the Hilltoppers, okay, up there in the wild mountains of Western Kentucky. They say he lives off of children and favorites. Okay, Western Kentucky plus 7.5. Then we're going to the Buffs versus UCF over 62.5. Overs Club members only play. TCU versus Kansas, another Overs Club only over 58.5. Then we're going to the Midshipmen. Who's going to carry the boats? Don't worry, Horvath will. Navy minus 2.5. All right, then we're going to go Quacks. Ducks minus 25.5. And we're sprinkling Kentucky, Western Kentucky money line. Bama, BYU, OU, and Cincinnati outright dog winners.
Looks good. Looks good. Still trying to chase that mic drop. Still trying to chase that 10-0, man. One of these times, I think we got some time to. I got the hiccups to get that bad boy in at some point. I play it every week to track it mainly, but also just hey, what if we hit a 10 leg? That'd be crazy. All right, so now is definitely time. We had a couple questions pop in. I think I had answered them already. If you guys are live on Twitter or Twitch or YouTube, and you guys have any particular questions about any particular games, let us know, and we can take a look at that. Ty, I was also looking at well, give people the chance here. I feel like the over in the LSU and South Alabama game could be pretty good too. 66 might feel a little high.
It is, especially with the new clock. But I feel like I want to see how that first quarter plays out and then see if you can grab a live total or live team total there.
Yeah.
That's my opinion.
Yeah.
But
what else? I do feel like that Ole Miss line is a little scary. Minus 15.5 is intriguing. Ole Miss is very good, but sometimes Kentucky shows up, that defense.
Yeah, I feel like that's a trap spot.
Yeah. Money line, though, I think is okay.
Yeah.
If you're doing something money in, a parlay or something like that, so. Well, all right, gang. I know it's late, 9 o'clock, right? So you guys are, it's Friday night. You guys are doing whatever you're doing. If you watched this live, appreciate you guys. If you're watching on a recorded version, appreciate you guys just as much. If you have any particular questions, comment down below here, and I'll be able to. I'll get that, the notification on my phone or whatever, and I can answer a particular question, or hit us both up on Twitter. Probably a little easier to get a hold of us on Twitter at LiveJoeBets, and then at Ty the Football Guy with 1 L. Pretty easy to find both of us. If you're interested,
feel free to call Jordan at 260. I'm just playing.
Yeah, no, that'd be I get enough phone calls as it is.
Yeah.
Or if you're interested in checking out the Discord, like I said, we had almost 30. It was like 28 or 29 point something. But like she's got anything to do. My wife's in here telling me to hurry up.
Whoa.
She's probably ready to go to bed. But anyhow, if you're interested, join and check it out. Got the link down below in the description. We had nearly 30 units between the two of us, tied with 12. A lot of live team totals, a lot of live plays, and obviously ahead of time, we had a 3-leg parlay in there as well. I was up, nearly 8 units, but obviously 6 of that came from my, stepped up 11-leg parlay there. And, so the other guys had some success too. So the Discord was doing pretty dang good college football wise last Saturday. So hopefully to replicate that. So if you're interested, check it out. I got the links down there in the description. Twitter, if you're watching on Twitter, obviously up in my bio there, you can get those there as well. That is all I have for the boys of fall here. Ty, do you have anything else before we close her on down?
No, just that pickleball is not a real sport. That's how I'll close out.
She's probably not even in here anymore. You got the Indiana pickleball champion.
Yeah, right.
And 7 months pregnant or whatever it is. All right, guys. Well, we're going to close it out. Appreciate you guys for watching. We will be back next Friday, of course, to just do it all over again. Hopefully you guys follow some of these plays. If you did follow some, and you win some money, make sure you let us know. Tag us on Twitter or whatever. Direct your friends to the show there too. But I'm going to throw on this outro. Listen to some Friday Night Lights music here again, and we will see you guys back next week.